All right, maybe right now you're digging out. Where's that shovel? Where did the shovel go? Do I need to buy this salt? Getting ready to prepare your sidewalk, your property, as New York City is bracing for the snow that's coming in. A lot of towns as well. This is the first time we've seen winter weather like this in a couple of years. So it is the home or business owner's responsibility to make sure that the sidewalk in front of their property is safe and maintained. A little friendly reminder as we head into the weekend.
This resonates with me very much, and a lot of you out there who's watching who happens to own a property. My parents own a corner property in Queens. And they get fined all the time. My poor elderly parents going to court all the time. So I'm so happy to have you, Nina, to break this down, because there's so much confusion about this and like who this applies to.
It's time for a primer, right? Yeah. We haven't had a big snowfall, and a lot of people may have forgotten the rules. And yours are very specific for your parents about that corner property, which you're going to be getting into. But you have got to get the snow off the sidewalk. In New York City, it is the owner's responsibility to clear ice and snow. You have to make a path at least 4 feet wide. If you're like Charlene's parents in Queens, if you have a corner property, guess what? And they probably know this, sure. They've got to get to the crosswalk if you own a corner property. And you also have to clear bus stops and fire hydrants, and there's very specific times. And as our weather team kind of breaks down when this is going to hit, if the snow falls, and this is the rule, by the way, the owner of any real property abutting any sidewalk, you could be liable for injury to property or personal, including death, caused by the failure to maintain a sidewalk in a reasonably safe condition. And folks, that is New York City Administrative Code. That goes for if you have a cracked sidewalk, if you have snow on it. And as we were talking about the times, and Danny and Brittany and the team's going to have to help with this. If the snow falls between 7 and 5 p.m., you got to get it off within 4 hours, like during the day, 4 hours. If it falls between 5 and 9 p.m., you've got 14 hours. 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. overnight. If it stops by 7 a.m., you have until 11 a.m. to clear it.
Wow. Well, you mentioned the fines that your parents have faced. What are some of these fines that we're talking about?
Well, your first offense is going to be $100. Your second offense is $150, and they're very strict about this. And your third offense is going to be $250. So it's in your best interest. And guess what? If you can't do it, and you should be careful with shoveling too, because you can really injure your back.
77-year-old dad.
Yeah, everyone gets into it. So, like I said before, when we were talking about side hustles before Christmas, get on TaskRabbit or get on Side Hustle. So many kids invest in shovels. They walk around the neighborhood. They want to make a little extra money. This is your time to not do it, but make them do it for you, and then you can avoid any fines by the city and any injury or liability.
So you mentioned a second ago, it's not just shoveling sidewalks, but also cracks, and you have a story coming up later today about a serious cracked sidewalk, correct?
Yes, because say if you have a tree and the tree's pushing up the sidewalk. In New York City, the homeowner used to be responsible for that, but that stopped in 2019. If it's a city tree, the city is responsible. And we have this tree downtown. It's a city tree, and it's up like half a foot. And the homeowner called us in the fall, and he said, take a look at some of this video of what happened recently. This happened this week. He called us in the fall, and this week, this man fell, had to be taken off by a stretcher because that sidewalk, that's this is a historic district on 10th Street. It's being pushed up. It's stone slab by the tree that's been growing. He first alerted the city in 2015. That's almost 10 years ago. A litany of complaints and service requests. Dozens and dozens. Each time the city came out, each time the city promised that they would fix it, put that in writing. Guess what? Somebody fell, sued the homeowner. And the homeowner was like, hey, guess what? This isn't my problem because I've been telling the city to fix this for a decade. And let's hear from him.
A number of people have been injured. I've been sued personally twice, and most recently a ruling from a judge of the New York State Supreme Court ruled that we were not liable because the city was at fault, and that these people could drop their suit with me and sue the city entirely. But I assume that since this is the second time the city has had to settle with injured people over this sidewalk, it's definitely costing the city serious money.
I mean,
like what?
You know, I would think that you would be in the best interest to stop the lawsuits until you're responsible and fix it.
Yes.
We went back and forth with Parks Department several times. We're going to have the full story at 5 o'clock, but that just resonates how important it is. How important it is for you to take the responsibility, if it is your responsibility, to clear that, or you could be on the hook for some medical expenses. You could get sued. But if you're not responsible to keep great records, which he did, Dan Levy, and he was able to prove, this is not on me. This is on the city, and they should fix it. So more to come at 5.
A lot of people taking notes.
Yeah.
Because we got that storm coming. We haven't had one like that for a while. Yeah. Nina, you always come on time.
Yeah.
Now that the holiday